I think most people get into nature photography or street photography because something inside of them clicks where they start noticing the smaller things that happen in life and they think, somebody else has to see this. I want to show this to somebody else. But that also leads to a dilemma. Us as photographers or videographers, we're constantly in this struggle where we have to try to figure out how to be in the moment, how to enjoy life, and be okay if something miraculous happens and we miss the most incredible shot that we could have ever taken. Today, we're going to talk about that. So being in the moment, it's one of the things that they teach heavily in Eastern philosophy, Buddhist philosophy, but just philosophy in general. This idea of being in the moment and not thinking about the future and not thinking about the past. It's very easy to tell yourself to live in the moment and then be caught up in this mantra, and before you know it, minutes or hours pass and you realize you actually weren't living in the moment. Now that's a broader philosophical thing that I'm not particularly trying to focus on right now. What I'm trying to focus on is just this idea that we have as photographers, as videographers. We are the ones that capture life as it unfolds. Photography and videography are now so ubiquitous in everybody's lives. It kind of means that society is being a little more inundated with just tons and tons of photos. And it's hard to really discern what moments are valuable to the future. Those moments are generally what we try to capture as photographers, as videographers. Everybody knows that photo of, I want to say it's in China. I believe it's a man and he's standing in protest in front of tanks. Check the photo out right here. You see this, you know this photo. Those things that live on in memory, that will echo throughout time. That is what we try to capture. When I first bought the camera that I'm filming on right now, I took a lot of photos because I wanted to just get down to the nitty-gritty of my camera. I wanted to know exactly the limitations. I wanted to know what I can do, what it excelled at, what it wasn't good at. It's not to say that I don't practice. It's not to say that I don't, that I don't still go out there and do my thing. Because of how I've sort of mastered this particular camera, I try to be more intentional about taking photos. And I'm gonna tell you 3 stories of times that I missed the shot or got the shot, but it wasn't what I imagined it to be. Everybody talks about 10,000 hours to be a master. Yo, you need that. You need reps. If you're a singer, go out and sing. If you're a dancer, go out and dance. If you're a photographer, take your camera out and shoot. That's what you need to do. What people don't talk about is this level of play that needs to be in whatever you're trying to master. If you go into something right at the very beginning of it, trying to master it, you're gonna stop. It's not gonna work. You're gonna be really gung-ho about it. You're gonna be gung-ho, and then you're just gonna, it's too much, because you forgot how to play. The beginning of me learning my camera was playing, because I was like, ooh, how do I do this? How do I do that? Oh, what is the maximum I can push my ISO? Is it in one of the lower thirds? If I wasn't with, like a really trained person in front of the camera, they would feel the detachment. This is intimidating. Even me just vlogging and talking to you, there's a huge disconnect because I'm looking at this metal lens. It is not as easy as someone might think. My mindset was dominated by whether or not the composition, the focus, the ice, all of those things were in the correct space. As I got better at it, then I started looking at things like story. Okay, what is the image telling me? What is the story that's happening here? You don't think about walking, you just do it. My body doesn't need me to think about it. It just needs me to get out of the way and let it do what it does. That's what your art is. Your art is that. It needs you, the person, the human, whatever your name is, it needs you to step out of the equation. And that's why we practice so hard at the beginning. We practice hard at the beginning so it becomes thoughtless. It becomes thoughtless and it becomes like breathing. When you're talking about art and you're talking about the technique of art, one of the most important things that you can do is to just learn how to play. Just to learn how to play again. That's a very crucial part of the mastery of it. There's 3 stories that I want to tell you. These 3 stories are moments that at the beginning of my photography career, I would actively think about these things and regret that I didn't have my camera. And now in my photography and videography career, I just look at those and think, wow, those were beautiful moments that happened in my life. And if I would have had a camera, cool. But the fact that I didn't have my camera, it's okay. I still saw these beautiful, gorgeous things. And the first story we're gonna talk about is the hawk and the squirrel. All right, let me paint this picture for you. So I'm driving, it is evening time. You know, the light is very soft. It's not very harsh. And I'm driving, there's a little bit of traffic. There's a line of trees, but in back of the trees is a big empty field. And behind the big empty field is another sort of like, I don't want to call it a forest. You know, it was a suburb area, so it wasn't a forest, but it was a group of trees. So you have layers here. You have the line of trees, you have the open grass, and then you have behind it, you have this group of trees, forest, right? In this front part where these trees are, there's a hawk sort of like hopping around trying to capture this squirrel. And the way the lighting was, if I could have got the right angle and got the backlighting of these two fighting, you know, this is dramatic. When a hawk is hopping around on the floor, and they're big. You know, they're not eagles, but they're big. They got their wings wide open and they're trying to hop around and fly a little bit to get a little bit of advantage of the squirrel. And you know, you've seen squirrels run. They're crazy. They're stupid fast. For whatever reason, I don't know why the squirrel didn't just run up the tree and be safe in the branches. But you know, maybe it was a male squirrel and it was trying to impress somebody, or maybe it was a female squirrel that was trying to get a little baby. I don't know what the reasoning was, but I had stopped just a little bit in traffic to watch about 2 to 3 seconds of this thing happen. And then of course I had to keep going because I was at a light, but it was beautiful. It was the way that it was set up, the lighting, everything. For a minute, I kind of was like, damn, where's my camera? Like, why? You know, if I had the right camera and the right lens, all the right circumstances, I would be on National Geographic. And it just happened to be a moment that I observed in nature where, you know, everybody was going and being busy bees along in their day. And that moment took me out of the rat race and allowed me to just kind of be back with myself and you know, revel in this really beautiful kind of cat and mouse sort of thing that I was watching unfold in front of me. Story number 2. So I'm walking in this nature trail. There's a smallish kind of slope here on one side, then the trail, and then it slopes down, and then a nice, cute little stream on the side. This is really early in the morning, foggy, super, super moody, like just smoke on the water. You know, the treetops are just gray, yellow and orange, all of the colors of the fall. And I'm walking, just kind of looking down, making sure I don't twist an ankle. And then I look up and I see a fox cub in the middle of the trail. We made eye contact. And I don't know how long the eye contact was. If you've ever been in nature, you know how skittish predators are. Predators will not stick around. They're wide in the wide open and you kind of just happen upon them, they're gonna freak out and they're gonna jet for the most part. You make eye contact with some kind of smaller predator, you know, not something that's capable of killing you and eating you, but something smaller that sees you as a threat, you know that they're not gonna stick around for a long time. But it did. Not a long time, But even 10 seconds is a long time for a predator. You see it, the fog on top of the water. You hear it, the rushing, babbling creek on the side, the wind rustling through the leaves in the autumn trees, and this thing in the middle of this path. And you just have a moment. While it's happening, it feels like it lasts forever. And then when it's gone, it's gone. I'm pretty sure I had my camera that day, but I chose not to take the shot because I know those animals, unless they are domesticated in some kind of way, they're gonna, 9 times out of 10, they're just gonna run. So I wanted to experience that. I wanted to feel that and live that moment instead of trying to capture it. Story number 3, flashback to October of 2024 when I was traveling in Europe, but this point we were in Switzerland. Now it had been storming, cats and dogs raining crazy that day. We had took a detour wanting to go to Switzerland to see Switzerland because, you know, it's Switzerland. But it had been storming, so we were all just kind of like, man, we're taking this like detour that's gonna cost gas, that's gonna take time, and we're not even gonna be able to see it. So we're driving on the highway. On the right side, we have Lake Geneva and some mountains, okay? Some smaller mountains. I think they're the Alps, but they're not like the Alps. And then on our left side, we have like peppered little small villages here and there and some smaller mountains here too. So what ends up happening is while I'm driving, the clouds start giving way on this side. So, you know, for me, I'm like looking at it from the corner of my eye and I'm like, wow, you know, the glimmering diamonds on top of the surface of the lake are so beautiful. And then we get to this underpass, and before we go to this underpass, I see something in the corner of my eye. I think I saw a rainbow. Just take a look on this side for me while I'm driving. And then it's not just a rainbow, it's this wall of a rainbow. Because I think, you know, the clouds were rolling over these hills, these small mountains. And so the clouds were 300-400 feet high. And they made this wall. It's not an arc. Check the picture out. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up, okay, I got the picture, but the picture to me isn't fantastic. It's like a documentation picture. It's like, cool, see this thing that I saw, but in terms of composition, in terms of everything else, it's, you know, ain't nothing really special about it. I knew what my exposure was. I knew everything. I put my window down and just, you know what I mean? For me, that moment was important to just get it, to just capture it, to just have it on my SD card so I can save it for later and then just put my damn camera down and be in the moment. Because now we're in Switzerland, baby. I've never been in Switzerland. And now the sun is coming up. There's a huge rainbow on this side. Like, bro, just put the dang camera down and chill. We're gonna be in Switzerland for hours. Just chill. And that's what I did. We're constantly fighting that. We're constantly fighting that. Trying to be in the moment while also trying to be a photographer. And those moments don't come easy. We never know the right answers as photographers or as videographers. We never know whether we're doing enough to be in the moment or whether we're too much being photographers. There's no real answers here. All I want to do is share my moments of being a photographer, and I want to hear yours. What is a moment that you've had in your life that you thought, oh my gosh, why don't I have my camera? Or is there a moment that you feel shame about because you were behind the lens, behind the viewfinder, instead of being present with the people that you love? I want to hear your stories. Tell me about it. Please like, comment, subscribe, do all the things, and continue photography. It doesn't have to be like an ugly thing. You know, you can still do it and love it. It's just finding that balance. And how do you find your balance? Peace, y'all.